anymore. But you see, the point I'm trying to make is that, that we can have our cake and eat it too. We've been trained, okay, indoctrinated, brainwashed to believe we can't. But indeed, we can. We can be free from these money monsters, these illegitimate overlords, these money masters. These are the ones and all their minions, sycophants that suck up to these people for a paycheck, because this is their way out of fear. They can't worry about your fear. They hate you. They want you dead. They write openly about this stuff. They make no bones about it. All these climate change people, yes, austerity is real, and here's why. Here's the context. Here's the pretense. Here's the pretext. This is why we've got to make you poor, so you stop burning energy, because you're destroying the earth. You, even though my carbon footprint is 10,000 times what yours is, don't worry about that. Okay, we're the elite. We're holy. We're special. We're the altruistic ones that are going to save the planet. So listen to us. You see how evil these people are, how vile they are in the heart and mind and sight of God and decent humanity. What an anathema these people are. What hypocrites they are. Blatant, flagrant, brazen hypocrites. Okay, they're the exact representation of a hypocrite. Their caption appears under the definition in the dictionary. Okay, that's who these people are. And they're all on their way to hell. These are the same ones that are suppressing the clean energy technology. So it can't even be about pollution anymore, because we've made great strides with catalytic converters, not only on automobiles and other equipment, but we've done it on factories, smokestacks. The coal burning plants are much cleaner than they used to be. There's hardly any. I mean, compared to one volcano, we could have a billion, power plants burning coal in this country. Okay, that's the reality that we're talking about here. As long as these are clean, we don't want pollution. I don't want to breathe lead and mercury and all kinds of other crap. The air is much better in America than it used to be. That's the truth. We've made progress in getting rid of pollution, but CO2 isn't even a pollution. It's going to warm the earth. It's going to create more fauna. More fauna will create more oxygen. The earth is slightly oxygen starved, so it would be a good thing. It would help balance things out. And then these are the ones spraying the sky. They're the ones that are spraying the sky, chemtrailing, geoengineering, weather modification. HARP might be involved. We don't know. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They send beams into the ionosphere. We don't know if it'll explode, but we're experimenting. We're scientists. Leave us alone. You can't worry. Hey, we want to try out our nuclear bomb, so we got to pull a false flag in Pearl Harbor, pretend we didn't know the subs were coming in, assassinate any of these goody two-shoes that would dare think until many years later, when they feel safe and they can come out to clear their conscience on their deathbed. You find out, well, they knew about the Japanese subs off. They could have prevented Pearl Harbor. They let it happen. They want to try out their nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hey, they're scientists. Leave them alone. Edward Teller, He was pissed off. He died pissed off, according to Bob Lazar, because he never got to try his hydrogen bomb, which purportedly is 800 times more powerful than a nuclear bomb. But he said he was always in a bad mood ever since, he couldn't get that together. He's the one, actually, by the way, that hired Bob Lazar to work at Area S4, which is exponentially more secretive than Area 51. So look into the guy. If you want to see an interesting interview, listen to Bob Lazar. I believe every word out of that man's mouth. Anyhow, for a second, I'd like to go back to this business about forgiving ourselves, okay? Apologizing, saying you're sorry to somebody when you acted in a way that was less than ideal, let's say, unbecoming, ugly, whatever it may be. It's good and proper and right to apologize and say you're sorry. As humiliating as it may be, it works for good. God has a way to turn bad things around to his goodwill, okay, in a situation like that. So it's an opportunity. Look, maybe these guys will be more careful the next time not to, to say the right thing. Look, you know what, if it, what condition is it in? Because if it looks ugly, we don't want it. Whether it works or not, we don't want it. If he had said that, I'd say, okay, it's going to the recycling place. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that it gets a burden off your chest. I've got to learn self-control. I can't take the words back, but I don't have to repeat it again. I can resolve and say, look, I must, for my welfare, to be the person I want to be. Because after all, that's the only thing I have control over, is to be exactly who I want to be without compromise. then I must do this thing and I must not do this other thing. I must learn some self-control. God, help me. So I know more specifically what I need to ask God for, I haven't been seeing the forest for the trees. I have been self-deceived. I believe we're all masters at self-deceit. So anyhow, that's the gist of what I was trying to convey to people, and that it's a very serious issue, because a lot of people walk around with a lot of stress and distress, not even knowing what's going on in their heart, their mind, their spirit, and their soul. But this is what's going on. It's unresolved issues. We've got to be very careful about what comes out of our mouths. In fact, I pulled up this quote from, it's in the book of James, and it talks about the New International Version. Says, "We all stumble in many ways. Anyone who is never at fault in what they say is perfect, able to keep their whole body in check." Can you imagine that? James goes so far as to call you perfect if you're able to control your tongue. Okay, so this is very important. We've got to harbor the right thoughts then. When we think about evil people, we've got to think of it in terms of a parent trying to correct their child. And you're not hating your child, you're just angry, you're upset, you're frustrated, and under no uncertain terms, you must confront them. You cannot just let it slide. You can't be complacent. You can't be indifferent. You don't have that luxury. You must confront them. And this is the same thing we have to do with this New World Order cabal. And I have great regards, speaking about Trump, for a multi-billionaire like this, who suddenly talks in a repentant fashion, talks about, ending homelessness in America, talks about, not having any regard for all these special interest groups, that the same ones that, I'm talking about, which the government is the big monolith. They're the ones that validate and legitimize. So you could say, well, the Federal Reserve is the head now. No, it's like a two-headed beast. They're working in conjunction, hand in glove, okay, with these people. The money printing class. So all the politicians now are just sycophants for a paycheck and whatever other perks under the table money they get. Whatever they get out of this, okay, they're getting, and it's plenty. Apparently, it's easy. People sell their soul every day of the week for money. We've just got to face that truth, face that reality. That's just the way it is. While you and I say we're not going to compromise our integrity, our conscience, our honor to do these things, but there are people, that's the reality we must face. Get serious. Those are the ones that create the policies that we're supposed to live under. So if Donald Trump thinks he's going to go in there and make a bunch of arbitrary and capricious policies about immigrants and all this stuff, forget it. He knows it's not going to happen. He knows chances are 99% that all the illegal immigrants in America at this point in time, if he takes over, which is very iffy, with Ted Cruz dropping out in a very suspicious manner. It's very ominous what happened there. They want blood. They want Donald Trump dead. We don't know what's going to happen. If Obama somehow is going to create some state of emergency where he stays in power through executive order, all this stuff could relate to the Bible. I don't know all the details. All I know, we need to be on guard and ready for anything. But if Donald Trump goes in there, he's not going to be able to. All these people are going to get to stay because we've got plenty of socialist-minded people out there. And remember, these people are into numbers. The more, the merrier. Ask your Chamber of Commerce. It doesn't matter. Bring in, 10,000 immigrants into your town of 50,000. It'll be good for business. We're going to have to build housing. They know it's going to, and somebody's going to have to foot that tab. They don't care. It goes well. The politicians will get that money somehow. They've promised it because they know they're bringing in these immigrants. They got to take care of them. They've got to house them. That's fundamental. So they're leapfrogging against the native sons and daughters who are dying out in the cold. They get to act like the benevolent ones, and they're all so altruistic and so compassionate to all these immigrants. You understand how this works? And the numbers are good. A lot of businesses benefit. Just think of all the people that benefit, that deal in consumer goods out there, anything, all the different services out there that benefit from the more the merrier kind of a situation. So these are all these special interest groups. But for the people, it's not good. The majority of Californians, back to what it's going to be like. It's going to be like what it's like in California, where the majority of California residents are renters. Okay, okay? They're serfs. They're hopelessly renting. They'll never be able to buy. Their incomes are never going to match. It doesn't look like it. It looks hopeless, okay? That's what's coming across that's going to sweep the nation if you let it. If Donald Trump doesn't stop it through things like sound currency and start reversing this trend. That's how you reverse it gently. But short of sound currency, folks, things are going to continue to descend across this nation and across the planet until the return of Jesus. So I'm not a negativist. At the end of the day, I'm a positivist, but I'm just telling you, look, be on guard unless maybe Jesus is already pushing so hard and his return is so imminent and we've already been through the battle of Armageddon. It's happened in the heavens. God knows what's going on here. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. Maybe we've been through the worst of things. I don't know. Maybe Donald Trump really is working for God and he's going to turn things around in America. But the best thing we can do as patriotic Americans is make America a shining light example for the rest of the world to follow. And that's not the way that California has gone. This is not the way to freedom, to prosperity, to safety and security. This is the opposite direction of what we need to go. Okay, we need to get serious about this stuff. It's very serious. We need to be very sober-minded and very introspective, circumspective. Okay, and say, you know what, we got to take the bull by the horns and confront this issue, confront these money masters and say, this is the issue. Put the axe to the root. We demand sound currency. We want the crime rates to turn around and dry up. We want the abortions to dry up.